So when I first got into teaching, I wanted to inspire people. I thought, you know what, I could be the person who inspired someone to be a doctor or an engineer. I always thought that when I was teaching, I would teach students who were much like me, students who came to class prepared, eager to learn, and who pretty much listened to everything that the professor said. That was something that I surely found um, went away as soon as I started teaching. On my first day, I found that over time, students forgot their labs. They forgot their PPE, which I could excuse that. But there are times where students forgot their common sense. The first day I started teaching, we had to check into lockers. Whenever students saw any sort of glassware that had minor chips or cracks in it, they had to throw it away in their broken glass container. I found that students were oddly attached to the glass that they were throwing away into the broken glass container, so much so that they followed the glassware either elbow deep or shoulder deep into the broken glass container. I had to look at them and think, why? Why would you risk endangering your person to throw a glassware away into the broken glass container? Apparently, they didn't want to break it. I thought, okay, if this was one, two students, I could probably let that slide. However, after 10 students started doing this, I had to preface every single class after this one and remind students, don't stick your hands in the broken glass container. It's filled with chemicals. The glassware may not exactly be clean. They could be filled with a lot of different metals or poisons that you don't want gain into your bloodstream. So I had to be on top of the students a lot more than I thought. And some of these students I looked at thinking, I really hope you're not going to be a future doctor or a future engineer because we're going to be in a lot of trouble if you forget this kind of common sense. So as the years went on and I taught about 300 students at this time, we had a class where we had to do this hydrate lab. Now, for those of you who don't know, hydrates are salts that have water on them. And for the lab, all we wanted to do was take a Bunsen burner, heat up the hydrate, and have the water evaporate. It was a simple lab. It's a very simple lab. The hard part is you have students who have to learn how to use a Bunsen burner, or some for the first time. These students are about 18 to 25 years old, so I figure they had to have some experience with fire before this. I found out as I was teaching the lab, no, that's not necessarily the case. I've seen a student who decided to switch out the tubing for the Bunsen burner because she found a crack in it. That was a really good observation. However, the tubing that she replaced it with was a tube that was too big for the Bunsen burner. And so I didn't know she didn't properly check the tubing before she lit the Bunsen burner. I just saw that she was mindlessly heating up the hydrate, watching the water evaporate off the hydrate, while there was a little bit of gas leaking from the tube up to the Bunsen burner. I didn't realize that the entire Bunsen burner would ignite in flames and the entire lab bench would be engulfed in this circular fire. I immediately ran over, turned the gas off, and I lost my cool on the student. I felt bad after she started crying. Normally, I don't lose my temper with a student, but she put a lot of people at risk just for forgetting her common sense. Common sense clearly escaped her, and I really hope she took this lesson with her to her future career to remember to always bring that with her. It's okay if you forget your homework. It's okay if you forget your PPE, but your common sense should always stay with you. Thank you.